And we got Don Garon with us today. And
Don, how come I look older than you? Is it your tan?
I don't know. I'm looking at the thing and thinking we're both looking a little old here. The guys I think it's the camera. Look at their pictures, right? And look at ours, right? And I think it's the quality of the camera. I think
No,
these guys,
you know what? They have filters.
yeah, I think, filters.
Yeah, tan filters.
Yeah.
So Don, how is it working for Homeland Security? That's all right, does it?
My job's the best. I only do 3 things.
Are you happy that you closed your school and started working for Homeland Security?
Yeah, I am.
Were you done owning a karate school, martial arts school?
Well, it wasn't so much that. It's just the way things evolved. Okay. I was happy.
Financial thing?
Say again?
Was it financial?
No. I made more money per year running my school than I still make now.
Wow.
With the government.
Do you think it might have been a midlife crisis thing?
No, it's the way things evolved. What happened was I was working a contract. My main job was teaching civilians martial arts for 29 years. And then my secondary job for from 86 until 2001. So how many years is that? 15 years?
Yeah. Wow.
Was doing contract work for, different government and military groups. And then after 9/11, things kind of changed. Homeland Security was stood up, and people were needed to help stand up the individual academies for the agencies. And through my contacts with ATF that I was working for, I was asked to help stand up the academy at FLETC for the new Homeland Security. And then
how about that seminar with all the secret agents, and we were right across from the gun range? It sounded like cannons were going off.
Yeah, the bomb range. That was ATF's bomb range. So anyhow, it was just a thing where I went from doing full-time civilian and part-time government. It kind of flip-flopped to where I started doing full-time government. It was only supposed to be for a year, help stand up the agency, and then go back to my school. But it just evolved. So over a period of 3 years, I sold my school to one of my guys. And that kind of, just as an aside, since we're talking about business, something, Bob, for you to file away that if you want, sometimes we can have a conversation about. But guys try to sell their school, and a school is a very personality-driven entity. Like Erik Paulson's school, without Erik Paulson, isn't worth very much. He disappeared. He's back, like Jack in the Box. The selling of a school.
Yeah.
Again, like if Alan were to sell his school, well, what really do you have to sell? Okay, you have the martial arts, but if that person isn't one of your people, then it doesn't really work. So you have to. So are you selling the contractual obligations that you have? Well, if your school is one of those that doesn't do contracts, then you've got nothing to sell. And even if you do have the contracts and you're selling the paper, that's only going to last so long. So what I did, and again, for a future conversation possibly on business, if someone is going to sell their school, what they want to do is they want to sell it to one of their own people and sell it over time, and take a salary, in essence, while not being there. So what I did is I sold my school to one of my guys for $150,000. And what I did was the school was making enough money where I took a $50,000 a year salary for 3 years, right, without being there. And that way, because I was taking more than that, obviously, when I was there. So I said, okay, look, I'll sell it to you. I've been paying you X number of dollars to work full time for 2 years. All right, you're going to get a raise because I'm going to be taking less, but I'm still going to take a salary of $50,000 for 3 years, and you won't own it until the end of 3 years. And that way I can keep an eye on it to make sure that you don't do something stupid and run it into the ground. Bob, what have you guys been doing for the past, Alan, talk to me. What have you guys been doing for the past 5 months that I've been?
Well, congratulations. Alan just got his 3rd degree on his black belt. So congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah, that's huge.
Got it
Congrats.
this last weekend. Iris got her black belt.
Nice.
She got promoted. And then who else got their black belt?
Chris Mize had a guy who came in and tested.
Nice.
And we had one of our affiliates here locally, Jamie Williams, who also tested. So there was 4 guys.
Congrats.
Wow. That's
Hey,
huge.
Don, how many black belts do you have, Don?
Now none.
32.
No, you mean how many have I promoted over the years, or how many do I have in
Both.
I guess in different martial arts instructor ranking, there's 7. And then how many black belts over 30 years? I guess I'd have to count them up, but I'm going to say around 120 that I promoted.
That's great. 120 black belts.
Yeah, but over 30 years, that's not nearly enough.
But that was that now? Were you a Kempo? Wait,
Well, what we did was when I first started out, I started in Shotokan, got a black belt in that, then a black belt in Parker Kempo.
And you were a full contact fighter. Tell the crowd who you fought. You fought a ton of people.
Actually, the names nowadays, remember, these names are way back in the day, so it wouldn't matter.
But a lot of people still know, so it'd be cool.
They don't know.
Just write them on a piece of paper and put them right up on the screen. Jeff Smith, Bill Wallace, Joe Louis.
Yeah, those were all demo matches. Actually, I fought Bill Wallace for a 3-round demo match for Children's Hospital.
I didn't know you did that. What was it like doing that with Bill Wallace?
It was keep your right hand up no matter what.
Did he go at you a little bit?
What's that?
Did he go at you a little bit?
No, he was real nice. And actually, I have video somewhere of I should have video somewhere of me sparring with Joe Louis.
I'd like to see that.
And we were kickboxing. We had helmets on, and I think at one exchange we were playing, and I hit him, I think, too hard, and it made him a little angry. And then you see him, rock me one, which is pretty funny.
You had pretty good hands, right?
But what's that? You
had pretty good hands.
Joe? Yeah. Yeah. All 3. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Okay? Totally my personal opinion.
Here it comes.
Bill Wallace obviously was the fastest. Blinding left leg, Joe Louis was obviously the strongest. But Jeff Smith was the best all-around striker. He was totally ambidextrous with both hands and legs. So you weren't, no matter where you weren't sure what was going to come at you, because he could punch or kick, either equally well with, all 4 appendages. So I think he was the best of the 4 as far as being a well-rounded, striker. Of course, you know what? Here's the thing, though. You look at film. Well, it's just like UFC. If you look back at the first 5 UFC fights and you look at the caliber of fighters there are today, there's no comparison. A regional club fighter by today's standards would be a UFC champion back in those first 5 things. And you're a big part of that. People like you who have been around for 100 years and were there at the beginning of, MMA, and were working and got paid a fraction of what, the local guys get paid now. Set the stage for, all the guys now that are making millions.
Yeah.
So
Fighting for peanuts
and
for the love of the sport.
I fought. I remember a lot of them because I had 21 what they considered pro fights at the time, and we got paid $100 a round.
That's like boxing. It's boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, boxing's 200 a round. Sorry.
Yeah. Back then it was, and it was back in the days when they first started, but basically you still had to, they counted your kicks. You had to have, first it was 6 kicks per round.
7 kicks above the waist, right?
Yep. And then, it went to 12. And then they said, well, that's not working.
That's PKA.
So
That's PKA, right?
They started at 6, and then they went to 12, and then they dropped back to 7.
Was that PKA rules?
What's that?
Was that the PKA?
The PKA and the
WKA.
PKA, PKL, and NKL.
Wasn't there WKA?
Yeah.
WKA, World Karate Association.
Yeah. And then there was the PKL, the Professional Karate League, and the NKL, the National Karate League.
That was Joe Corley's thing, right?
Yeah.
The Minnesota guys. What about JT Will? Was here?
JT Will was in Ohio, and he was, a Tracy guy. And where did I fight JT Will? I fought
JT Will.
Yeah, I fought JT in a tournament. Yeah, and he was the center ref. Funny story. He was the center ref in a match where I was fighting Victor Moore. Do you remember Victor Moore by any chance?
I don't remember him.
Look him up. He had he used to travel with a chimpanzee that he would bring out, and the chimpanzee would do spin kicks and break boards. He had him a little gears.
Oh, I saw a video of that.
He was crazy. Joe Louis and Victor Moore fought each other at Peter Urban's tournament in New York, and it wound up getting crazy to where I remember in the magazines they had fold-up metal chairs, and big brawl started, and then for like the next year, the center referees had guns on in their black belts. So it was
What?
Yeah, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. It's all true. Peter Urban and Joe Louis and Vic Moore got into it, and the brawl started, and then somebody grabbed a folding metal chair, and it went into the ring, and then people were swinging in the big brawl.
That's like crazy. That was like the Muay Thai.
That's JT Will. I'm fighting Victor Moore, right? So Victor Moore kicks me so hard in the body, all right, that I go out, all right? I hit the deck. I remember waking back up, standing up right away, because, you go out, you come back up, and he goes, and he grabs my gloves, and he rubs my gloves, and he says, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then turn around because you're facing the wrong way. I was facing out towards the audience. I was like, I didn't win that one.
Well, I think martial arts needs to be used as a vehicle to change people, and that's our job, is to aspire to inspire and change people's lives, and not only just teach martial arts, but how many guys have you mentored, Don, throughout your years, that have guys come to you as a coach and say, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and all of us. I mean, look, I look at where my life could have gone, and a lot of my friends out of the old neighborhood who are dead and or in jail, and how the martial arts changed my life. And I know, Alan, you and I have had conversations about how things have changed your life, and just, how many people that we've come in contact over the years that would have went the wrong way. And Erik, I know you and I have had conversations about guys that you have mentored that, were, in, we'll just, again, for the sake of discreetness, just say famous biker gangs, and have turned their life around because of their involvement with the martial arts and people. And you know what? Every instructor out there who's been teaching for more than 5 years has those stories. It's not us. It's not that we are such extraordinary people. It's that we've
mentors
been blessed to get involved with something that changes your life if you get involved.
It changes your heart.
Yes.
Your heart's either hardened or it's softened.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think that's the big thing today, is living through your heart. Living in the now is living through your heart, not through your brain. A lot of people are too analytical about stuff, but the biggest thing is living through your heart. Your love and your passion, and not dealing with a bunch of crap. We all have had so much drama. I've had a ton of drama leading a fight practice. I gave up fighting to start training fighters. I kind of fell into it. And then I didn't realize all the crap that goes along with that,
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing is the disrespect, or the indifferences, and then people talking behind people's backs. We do that, and
sometimes I don't know that if it's the disrespect, it's just the lack of respect. They don't know any different a lot of times. Look at the people that get into the fight game, be it boxing or MMA.
A lot of them weren't martial artists. A lot of them they were brave, and they said, I want to fight. So they learn how to fight, but they don't learn all the code of ethics that goes with it.
Right. And
code of ethics.
And that's a shame, because they miss so much, and they could become so much more as human beings if they would just allow the martial arts to be a vehicle for that.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, brother.
I think if we just focus on the big reason why we're doing martial arts, then all the other stuff goes by the wayside. All the other crap, the ego and the narcissism, and in the end, don't you aspire, especially as a fighter or competitor, you aspire down the road to lead. And when you're leading, you have to be positive, and you have to lead by example, and you also have to be friends with people. But then when people ask me, what's your title, I go, coach. Because a coach is someone in the middle of the night when you're in trouble that you could call, and he'll come and pick you up out of jail. You're not going to call your sensei up and go, hey, sensei, I'm in jail. And he's like, too bad. Let that be a lesson to you.
That's, that's pretty prophetic, pretty profound, pretty.
That's what a coach is, right? A coach is.
I agree. And the martial arts should be a vehicle for self-improvement. I mean, that,
like a big brother.
To me, that's the ultimate goal of any martial artist, is to improve themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I don't know that, unfortunately, and it's the same in any fight game. You have boxers that become great and become great people. Muhammad Ali is one of my heroes, both inside the ring and outside of the ring. He was not only a great boxer, a great fighter, but he was a great man. And he's someone who used boxing to become famous, but more importantly, as a vehicle, as a platform to do good.
It highlighted his charisma.
Yes. Yeah.
The guy was so charismatic.
And see, Bob, you were worried at the beginning of this that this was going to be just all cuts, all right? We can be serious if we have to be, right, Erik?
That's right.
Again, let me go back because I've been totally out of the loop for 5 months. What's happened with, and I'm gonna direct this to Alan. What's been going on with CSW the past 5 months? Bring me up to speed.
Well, a tremendous amount of stuff, but probably one of the things that sticks out to me is Coach's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program. He's organized it, a written curriculum, all the way up through brown belt, and which I'm one that I study organizations, obviously, because I'm involved with them, and I don't see that too often, so I like to mention that. And he's also put together an instructor training program, which he does through camps, and he added a portion on to those camps to relay the information for the program. It's been very popular, surprisingly. I actually was on 2 calls today with some guys in Virginia and New Jersey wanting to get involved with the program.
It helps with student retention because you take MMA and no-gi grappling, and the average life expectancy of a student is 3 to 4 years tops. Then you put the gi on them and you start teaching the jiu-jitsu program, and it takes 8 to 10 years to get a black belt. So
I'm going to jump in there, and I say this with all due respect. Your numbers are off there. If you look at your average MMA fighter, if you take all the students, because this is kind of my wheelhouse. Okay, when you look at true retention numbers, right, you have to look at every student that ever walked into your school, every student that ever enrolled, whether you use contracts or not, but became a student and was there at least a week, right, and took, at least 4 or 5 classes, and you take the average of all the people that ever walked in your door and how long they were there, you're not looking at 3 or 4 years, you're looking at 3 or 4 months, right? When you look at retention, true retention numbers in the school, that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at every person you ever enrolled, count up the number of months that they were there. We'll keep it simple. Count up the number of months that they were there. So you've got some people that were there 10 years. I had students that were with me. Karen Taylor, I shouldn't use names, but I know you remember Karen. Yeah, I know. Sorry. She was there.
Piece of paper, put right up
20, here. Yeah, piece of paper. 20 years, right? But then you've got hundreds of people that were there 1 month. So now you have to average all that.
You've had students that were only there for 1 month.
And so have you, my brother. You've had hundreds of them. All right. And then now you get a true retention quotient. People use all these fancy formulas, and it's all BS. Retention quotient, real retention quotient, is the total number of students that you've ever taught for, let's say, your school's been open 15 years. All the thousands of people that have signed on the dotted line, count up the number of months that they've stayed or the number of years that they've stayed, divided out by that number of people, and that will tell you how many months your true retention is. When I started out and I started really looking at this, and I had 100 students, my true retention quotient was around 8 or 9 months. When I had 350 students, that retention quotient was up to 18 months. And you go, gee, you only had students that stayed 18 months? No, I just got done telling you I had students that stayed 20 years. But what I did was I cut down the number of people that stayed 1 month and increased that to 4 months or 5 months. And then that increases those number of people that stay 1 year or 2 years. And now your whole true school base grows at the bottom end. That's where that's what you need to look at. Not how many more 20-year students I can have, but how many more 1-year students I can have. And that's how you build your school. People get confused with that because they want to focus naturally on the people that have been with them. Oh, I've got students been with me 10 years. Oh, I've got students been with me 15. Yeah, but you lost 3,000 that only been with you 2 months. And that's why your school's at 150 students instead of 350 students. And I know because I'm telling you my own personal experience. And I've seen it with hundreds, I would say 100 school, I would say the truth and say hundreds of school owners, but that sounds like I'm lying. So I'll just lie and say 100. Sorry. Sorry.
I can't believe you'd lie like that.
But you know what?
What about Jeff Jones? He's really listened and applied what you've taught him, right?
Yeah, well, and Alan, what you were saying, the fact, Erik, that you have put together a written jiu-jitsu curriculum through Brown Belt is enormous. I don't know any other, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys are much more in touch with this than I am, but is there any other jiu-jitsu organization out there that has written curriculum? And I'm when I say written curriculum, even just a list of techniques, let alone instructor's manuals or real support material to go with it, that has that to Brown Belt. I don't know of any.
Like Thomas, I'm going to a school tonight. It's a jiu-jitsu school, but I'm teaching catch wrestling. It's at Joe Morier's headquarters. It's Mike Tomazelli's. He's got white through black. His tests for blue belt takes 2 days.
Yeah.
I think it's like $200 or something like that. But I heard Helio Gracie tested for his blue belt under Mike, and he failed that test. It was so hard. That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, you had us locked in on that. Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke. You could laugh. So he's got a very intense, like a two-day test, and they have a lot of judo throws they have to know also, because Joe Morer was also a black belt in judo, so they teach judo, the throws, the terminology. It's a pretty intense test, and then when they get their belt, it's an embroidered belt, so it's pretty cool. But
yeah,
it's definitely an earned belt.
Yeah,
as far as belt testing.
I just think, Alan, that you were saying that the Brown Belt written curriculum, and there's instructor manuals now that go with that, or support material.
Well, here's let me jump in on that one. So what we have it for the other systems too, but what's also going in there is I started with the jiu-jitsu a little bit differently, and I'm retrofitting the other systems as well to be this way, because we're finding at the CDPs, the coach development camps that we do, we've now almost at every camp now, we refer back to the database, which is the online curriculum for the affiliates. Like somebody will have a question about something. So not only do you have written manuals, so you'll have a list of things, but then you'll have a technical manual with pictures, like a page for the techniques, the breakdowns. But then if you need to figure out, like, what is this? I don't remember what this is. You log in to the affiliate area for whatever level you want to go to, and you can watch a video of that. So, and Erik likes to teach in lock flows. So there'll be a string of things that might be 15 minutes worth of stuff where he combines it all and shows you how it fits together. So what I do is the way I'm putting the jiu-jitsu stuff together now is him doing that block of material, but then going through and go, this is each piece. So here's the whole thing. Look at that. So everything's in context. But if you want to find out just each piece that went into that, you can do that. Some of them might be 20 seconds long or 30 seconds long. It creates
How time consuming is that, Bob, to put together?
Oh, it's years of work, but it's worth it because we've proven it at the camps, because every camp now someone will go, what is that? And if I have to go into the video for whatever section we're in and scroll through 10 minutes of video to find that thing, I don't look at that as an efficient setup. I want to go literally to the submission that I want. I want to go into, I know that this is, let's say, white to blue, or whatever portion we're in. And if someone asks a question in that, you know exactly where to go. You can even search it. So go to the affiliate page, et cetera, and we look it up. So that's the goal for where we're going. You talked about support materials. Well, these are the support materials. And the feedback is huge on that. People are going, man, I've just never seen this.
Oh, well, and that is, once you understand it, you just go, well, that's a no-brainer. Of course, this is the way you're supposed to learn. You know, if you want me to learn, like if you want me to learn the alphabet and you want me to learn all, you know, the letters, give them to me in order, in a logical progression, or create a little song so that I can learn it and make it easy. Don't throw all the letters on the table and go, okay, put them in the correct order.
Well, the next thing is to make flashcards. That'd be cool, right?
I saw you already have that. You've got
I already got flashcards I made a long time ago for fight practice.
Yeah.
But flashcards would be good for jiu-jitsu. Like if you got, like Master Pedro has how many techniques per belt? It's for 84, 86?
88.
88.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be cool if there were flashcards for those 88? You throw it down, you have to perform it. You have to know it.
Yep.
Flashcards are an easy, quick way to learn.
And that's fun after you know
the material.
Those 88 are, and that's a fun way to train.
That would get you ready for the test, right?
Yeah.
Flashcards.
But you got to learn the first 88 in order first. There has to be a logical progression.
and that comes back to so we're talking basically student material at this point, but then we go into affiliate material.
Right.
Then gets into ABC type advanced business concepts. If you don't know that, who's listening, that's another thing we'll talk about later. But in the affiliate manuals is where the class breakdowns come. So that's for the coaches, and to say, okay, if you have this number of classes, like this is the block of material. This is how to take this block of material. Don Garon taught me this himself. So it's how to take that block of material, chunk it up into a specified period of time, and then give them the classes, and then teach them how to schedule that, plug it into their programs. Literally, it's plug and play. It's a no-fail thing. Just do these lessons, and you can put your own flavor into them. But if you do that, then you can put all that other, Alan calls it salt and pepper, on top of it that gives you that flavor of your own school. But you have a core structure that you can always go back to. So we've got the coach end covered, the student end covered. You put all that together, and that's what Don's talking about with the retention part. There you go. You have a system to fall back on, and it's not 100% personality driven.
Yeah,
you've got something.
And that's sometimes, guys. Erik, you have to understand that you're a different animal. Okay, you can get, and I mean that with all compliments, with highest respect. You can go out onto the floor and you could teach nonstop for 80 hours. Okay,
He could
repeat the same thing twice, and it would be great, and people would get it because you have that ability in your brain while you're doing it on the fly to organize it as you go and connect all those 80 hours in a row.
It took a little bit of time to develop, though. I mean, that's
like
hours
30
and also
years.
hanging
All
out
right,
with
so
Dan,
new instructors.
hanging out with Don Garon.
Yeah, no, new instructors can't do that. So if you give them that structure, right? Some artist somewhere said, in the structure lies the freedom. If you give them the structure, this is what you're going to teach today. These are the drills that you're going to teach today, but how you teach them is up to you. Well, then now you allow their own personality to come out. So guys balk at first and go, oh, I don't know that I want to be locked into a curriculum. Or, Bruce Lee had a curriculum. It's called Jun Fan Kung Fu, right? And he had an order to teach it. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't totally an expression of your own way of of teaching those techniques. So again, once you give people that structure, you're not limiting them, you're freeing them.
Drew says it's not where it comes from, it's how it's put together.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But it is about where it comes from also.
What else is going on? Put you on the spot.
We got 4 camps a year.
There we go. What is the next camp?
In
August.
2 weeks.
Yep, it's coming up quick. 16th August. No, that's end of the year. So April 12th through the 15th.
That's the World Conference public one. Anyone's welcome to come
down.
Coach Camp then. Coach Camp is August 16th through the 19th.
The World Conference, is that going to be at Erik's Academy?
Yes, sir.
Greg Nelson, Rick Young. We're flying Rick Young this year. Higa Machado, Nikolai Sonyak, Tim Tackett's coming in. He's going to show up and show some cool stuff. And then possibly Fergus McTaggart might show up also.
Cool.
Wow. It's quite the lineup.
Well, the cool part is, Master Higgins got 2 hours. And then Rick could teach. He's good at close quarter hitting stuff. His trapping's spectacular. I mean, he's been under Groove for 35 years. And he's also one of the best ground judo guys in all of Great Britain. And he's a black belt, 8-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. Pan Ams and Worlds, he's, as a black belt, he's got like 8 gold medals. I mean, he's highly accomplished.
Yeah.
And he's very humble, and he's a spectacular teacher. He's got a cool accent.
Yeah, cool accent. Alan, how's the structure of the World Conference set up? How many hours a day? What days of the week? Give me the actual days of the week. Is it like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then how's each day structured?
We usually get started about 11 a.m. Go through to, it usually goes to at least about 5.
Let's see, Thursday be about 4. We'll end at 4. Friday we can end at 5 because we don't have a class till 6. And then Saturday, Sunday we'll just stretch it out, and that way we can go all day with Saturday and Sunday, because a lot of people leave on Sunday later. So Saturday is going to be a longer day. We might barbecue. A couple of years we've barbecued. We have steak and fish and hot dogs. And
so on Thursday and Friday, we start at 11. Do you do a few hours and then take a quick break to eat some power bars and power? I'm thinking after like 2.5 hours to 3 hours of anybody, you need a short break and then come back again, or do you try to push through and just do like 5 hours straight?
We do an hour break, hour and a half, hour to an hour and a half break. And that way they could do notes, they could review.
Yeah.
I think if you give them an hour break, you're fighting to get out and get back, and your food's not digested. And I think that extra half hour kind of gives guys the ability to kind of review, take notes, look at merchandise, also get phone numbers and trade information, or maybe even get on the mat and roll with someone for an extra half hour. I think that.
Alan, Bob,
yes, sir.
Look what you've done to Coach Erik. You've got him organizing things. What's happened?
Awesomeness.
I take no credit. Not me.
You know what, Erik, you are, absolutely right. I mean, that sounds like you guys have finally nailed the perfect format.
Hi, I'm Jiggy. Hi, guys. Jiggy's gotta go for a walk.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to.
I think when you force things, I think if it's a little more organic, you give guys a little more time. Guys talk. I sit outside on the lawn in front of the place in the sun, and a lot of guys will meditate out there and just hang out. I've tried to create that meditative vibe in the beginning just to get things rolling and to make sure that everybody's like centered, aligned, balanced, focused, and grounded. And then we go from there. And what that does is it speeds up time.
Yeah.
I think meditation's important. A lot of people, like at the higher levels now, you got to figure, at first it was physical. It was about hurting people. It literally was about learning all the different ways you could hurt somebody. And then later on, it was possibly self-defense or learning how to defend against stuff. And then after that, it was learning how to heal people, because a lot of guys are getting broken. So students are like, oh, I hurt myself, I can't train. I'm like, well, what about your mind? But they want to physically train, so they have to figure out a way to get healed. So we work on the healing aspect, and then the highest level is your spiritual mindset. And that kind of puts people in a perspective, and it also puts them up into the universe. And I think that's the highest level, is the healing and the spiritual level. So what we have going next is we got to film the MMA curriculum. We have some of it filmed. We're going to film a lot more of the MMA curriculum.
Level 2.
And then some shoot boxing, and then a combat conditioning, and then a self-defense. And the last will be the spiritual, the meditation part. And we'll probably have like 5 or 6 different meditations.
Erik just laid out the next 5 years of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for that self-defense portion this year sometime. I'd like to see that go out.
Calm down. Still working on MMA and jiu-jitsu.
I know.
We already have.
We're getting a little piece of it done every camp. It's been great.
We already have a lot of it shot. We already have a lot of stuff, self-defense stuff shot, but we don't have it formatted or anything like that.
Yeah.
Another thing is,
have you shot any of the jiu-jitsu, Bob?
Oh yeah, we've got through Brown.
Coach has been
wow.
it's all filmed. It's all in the can.
Yeah, white to blue is already online. Blue to purple, a good chunk of it is online, and then purple to brown we filmed in Virginia.
Purple and brown is more just 100% jiu-jitsu. It's all bottom stuff. It's all guard, all the different guards. A butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not butterfly. It's like spider guard, lasso guard, scissor side half guard, deep half guard, X guard, and then it's all the different grips with the gi. Because not necessarily that I want everyone to know all that stuff, but at least you understand it and you know what you're going to deal with when you're going into these competitions. This is the game that everyone else is going to play.
Sure.
Some schools, all they do is drill barambolos. But that's for competition. It's not for self-defense.
Right.
Obviously, if you're good at anything, you could use it for self-defense.
True.
Like a pea shooter, if you get good at shooting spitballs, I mean, you could spitball anybody.
It could work.
And you could do it discreetly, like under your armpit, through your fingers. There's a lot of different ways you could sneak it. Bend over through your legs.
From meditative spiritual involvement to spitballs under the armpit.
Full spectrum.
The full spectrum.
That's right. Don't want to miss anything.
Erik Paulson's like a box of chocolates.
That's why we love you, Erik, because it's,
never know what you're going to get.
You know what? And people, we joke, but you can be, and again, you could take some excerpts out of this little podcast, and you could catch you at your most serious and most spiritual, and just totally serious. But at the same time, although you are, who you are, just martial arts wise, is not. That's ridiculous to even talk about. But at the spiritual level that you are, but at the same time, it would be easy for you to take yourself too serious, and you don't, and you never have. Well, you know what? You are probably. I don't know anybody God, I don't know if I want to say this on camera. No. I don't know anybody in the world that knows any more about the grappling arts in total than you. Okay. I think Guro's the most knowledgeable martial artist in the world. But when it comes to, and he'd be the first to admit that you know more than him when it comes to, MMA and grappling, and particularly the grappling arts. I don't think there's anybody out there that has the volume of knowledge and the ability to organize it the way you do. When you get serious and want to do it,
and actually can do it too.
Yeah.
Do you know that I was at Rick Faye's and Guru paid me a nice compliment. He goes, geez, not only Erik can teach, but he can also fight. That's a rare commodity you find amongst fighters and teachers that can do both. And then I laid a $10 bill down on the bed. I go, that's really nice of you, Guru. Rick Faye was my witness. Guru walked by and snagged it up. He goes, thank you.
Did he take it? Did he take the 10?
I bribed Guru Dan.
Did he take the 10? You know he took the 10.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then I arm drug Rick Faye, and then I suplexed him. I got a 5-point suplex above my head on the bed. And I remember later on, he's like, man, my neck's really hurting me. I'm like,
yeah.
Don, you remember when you brought Guru and I into that one room? It was a king-size bed. We walked in, and I got a 5-pointer on Guru, and you almost fell off the floor.
Bob, I'm getting
like,
stuff jumping on my computer.
Remember when I got Guru on that 5-pointer above my head?
I remember in a hotel room, the king-size bed, and it had the jacuzzi too.
And I go, hey, Guru, and you're like,
it was in Guru's room. He suplexed Guru in his own room.
Well, I was in that room too.
Who else can do that and get away with it?
Yeah,
Who
but
else
I didn't
even think to do it.
Wait, I got him up, but I didn't I set him down so lightly. It was like,
oh yeah, oh no, you were,
I didn't pitchfork it.
Still.
Anybody else would get killed.
Yeah,
I snuck up on Don right after he got out of the shower, and I'd suplex him in his towel.
We don't need to talk.
That's neither here nor there.
That's one of those ones that,
I think we've already talked about that one.
I think we did talk about that one.
Don did not get stuck upside down with his towel off, and he was bicycle kicking. That did not happen. And his wife.
Somebody happened to walk by at that moment.
Yeah, I have
Don,
no.
what are you guys doing?
I can neither confirm nor deny that ever happened. We'll go straight to government speak.
The funny thing is the timing. As soon as it happened, his wife walked in and goes, hey, Don, what the hell?
Yeah, and then just walked out. So
she was so mad at me. So mad. She's like, that damn Erik Paulson.
So where else are we headed? Talk to me about August. What's going on in August, Alan? That's the last, and then I'll quit bugging you. I'm just trying to.
August is the next coach camp. We're going to have 4 days. The first day is for the jiu-jitsu and the
Coach
kids.
Erik's again?
CSW. Yep.
California.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be out in California again? Okay.
Yep. And
Well,
that first day.
We've had them at Allen's, we've had them at Pat's, and then we have them in England. But I think we're going to start to try to bring most of them back to California. Obviously, overseas, we're going to do one in Australia, right? And then also one in, we go back to England every year. We have one there too. But we're going to continue to have it at your place, Alan, right?
Yes, sir. Once a year.
Okay.
Once a year.
Yeah. So we got East Coast, West Coast.
Typically, the November one is STX kickboxing focused. And then the
Boy, that was a lot of curriculum there off level 1, right, Don?
Yes.
I tried to get through level 2, and it was like you're like, hey, this is more than a year's worth of information.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That was level 1.
Yeah. Well, and that's
getting re-engineered. So.
That's Bob and Alan's job, is to take the stuff that you go, oh yeah, we can do that in a year, and it's like 5 years of curriculum for the normal person. All right. And again, I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just that you've got so much information rolling around in your head that what seems like you know,
Well, how much is too
a little
much?
hill is, you know, Mount Everest for most people to climb. So that's good that you have them, you know, kind of pulling the reins in a little bit and going, Eric, do you realize that this is, you know, this person's only got, you know, a year's worth of experience, not 20, you know?
Eric just signed off on student level 6 technical manual last month.
Beautiful.
So that's coming out.
Nice.
Right.
That's all butterfly guard stuff.
I got to finish this house this month and get back into the fold full on.
Yeah, I was wondering. I kept asking Alan, "Go, where's Don? How are we here?" And he lives here, and he doesn't even come in. I was with Craig Nelson 2 weeks ago. We're like,
I know, and
we're gonna come to your house and cook some eggs.
Alan called me up a couple of days ahead of time and said, "Look, get over there." And then, you know, I couldn't. I had contractors that weekend, and
You should have invited us over. We would have milked cows, and we would have made some pancakes.
I don't have any damn cows.
You live on a farm. What are you talking about? Of course you do.
No, I live walking distance off the.
Do you have pigs? Do you have chickens?
Historic area, not the farm district.
Oh. Do you have any animals?
What's that?
You have any animals?
No.
Not any hamsters or guinea
No.
pigs? Nothing.
Eric, I have a hard enough time just taking care of myself, brother.
Don's the only guy I've ever met whose OCD might be worse than mine.
You know what? And I've been doing well. I haven't been to jail in years.
He's not going to have an animal.
All right, guys.
Hey, a lot of people. So Don has the ABC program, which most of you guys don't really know too much about, but it's probably one of the best programs for signing students up, getting student retention, about not losing your students, how to treat, how to upgrade them, how to make money at your school.
And Coach, you know what we did is Bob and I had a talk a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of months. Again, this restoration of this, bringing this house back to life has been all consuming. But we had a conversation, and the weekly Crank It Up
It's an affiliate newsletter.
email, because Bob's going to put one out every Monday. And we talked about just taking a little video clip for all the affiliates from ABC every week, so that they can get, hopefully get some ideas and get some information for free. And, you know, over the course of 6 months, it should help them with their schools, you know, just not even going through the curriculum, and maybe inspire some of them to take a look at the business aspect of the school.
That's smart. They need to be exposed. That's very smart.
Yeah. And so all the affiliates will be getting all that every week. A little, you know, again, a video clip and the background information with it, the little written information with it, for free. And then that way, hopefully at some point, like I say, everybody has to hit that moment where they go, okay, I'm going to take this serious. I'm going to take my school serious, not just my martial arts, all right, but my school and
Business.
What I have found, sure, that look, you know, what allowed me to bring in, and if you think back to, you know, when I had my schools in Pittsburgh, nobody else brought people in for seminars. I brought you, I brought Girl, I brought Sifu Larry, Girl Edgar. I mean, just, yeah, nobody else.
And then Don ended up managing me for a while.
Yeah, well, and the thing was, you can do that because I knew that I would be able to pay the bills of bringing people in, because I knew I had enough students that I could break even on my own people, and I could keep it inexpensive enough, and I would allow a lot of other instructors to come for free, and knowing that eventually they would bring students, and if people would just realize that having a professional school doesn't make your martial arts weaker. Quite the contrary, it makes it stronger. If I wouldn't have had a solid school of a couple of hundred students, I would have never been able to bring in all the people that I brought in that made me and everybody else in the city of Pittsburgh better martial artists. How many people were exposed to people like you because I finally, after having my school for, 8 years, said, okay, it's time for me to get serious about this and become a professional. And I think that's, what it takes. And when that moment hit you, and you went from having, just a little club gym and going from gym to gym to gym to survive, to having the successful operation that you have now. And I think that's something important that, you can do for your affiliates. Everybody has to reach that moment in their own time, but at some point they have to look at themselves and go, well, there is a business aspect of this, and the business is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It will allow me to expose more people to the best martial arts in the world. So
I think that Seafood Larry, that's where he made a little mistake, because he didn't have his own school. So he was teaching at the Inosanto Academy, but he really didn't have a set class.
Yep.
And so, like, you got all these people that he teaches and addresses all over the world, but they really didn't have anywhere besides the academy. Not that the academy wasn't great.
Right.
He would have had his own Larry Hartzell.
You need to have your own. You need to have a base camp.
Grappling Association, but it was a school.
Yep.
Then you would have a place where he could have had camps.
Yep.
I mean, it just makes sense that you have a school, because now all the people that you deal with on the seminars, if they want to come in town, they could come in and train at your school. They could do fight camps or fight. They could come in for fight practice or night practice anytime they come to California. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. It was sad that he only had his seminars and didn't have a school with his own guys to leave that legacy of his guys after that.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And it's so important for the affiliates, to realize that, they are their own entity in of themselves, and they need to have that base camp. Even if they're doing it part-time, like some of the guys in Europe, they still have to have that base camp. So, hey guys, we said an hour, but it's
Don, thanks for your time. It was nice to talk to you and nice to see your face finally again.
Yeah, I'm sorry I've been absent for 5 months. I promise I will be back.
I know that your house is important to you, and it should be. And also, I can't believe you still got that good tan going. I don't know what's up.
I think it's the camera. I haven't seen the sunshine in 5 months.
I think it's Italian blood.
Yeah, it could be.
Is that it's
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on, Don. And thanks, Coach, for coming on this one. And just a quick to close it out, and thank you too, Alan. And just to close it out, Don has agreed to come on as a regular guest, because we do want you guys to get exposed to a lot of this business stuff. I think it's been fun.
Business stuff that he's created is unbelievable.
Yeah, he really knows what he's talking about.
A lot of people haven't seen it or applied it, and we really need everyone to take a look at it and push it a little bit, because it's spectacular.
If I can,
I think it's the best out there.
If I can do this, Bob, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to go ahead and blurt this out, because you can always cut it if you don't like it. If the affiliates have a question they want answered, they can email it to you, and then when we do, when I come on occasionally, if there's 2 or 3 questions that affiliates have asked, I'd be happy to answer those questions specifically.
Absolutely, we can do that.
I've got several myself, because actually a lot of the guys will ask me. So,
Ellen, ask one question.
I've got a list of them.
Ellen, you got one question. If you have one question you have to ask Don Garon about your business, what is it?
Well, I would ask the one that is commonly asked to me, and that is how to design a curriculum to properly work inside of a martial arts business. And it's more difficult than you think.
That's an entire podcast.
Yes, it is. We could
I
talk
can
about
give
that
you
for
an
an hour.
answer in 1 minute. Okay, give me.
I want to hear it.
Do it in 1 minute. So you have your art, you have your curriculum, you have all the techniques of your curriculum. Chop it up into however many sections you want. Right. So I've got 20 techniques. Right, for each belt level. Write them down. Right, and then break them into however many classes for each level. Throw that on the calendar, right? And that way we have class number 1 through 20, right? That will take 2 classes a week. That's 10 weeks. Break it down. That repeats, all right? And you do that with each belt level. And now you have a curriculum that's broken down into individual pieces that is now broken down into individual classes. Those classes are plugged into a calendar. So now you have a curriculum that's congruent with lesson plans, that's congruent with the calendar, all right? And then that just repeats. And it's a step-by-step process to bring your students to each individual belt level or rank level in a logical progressional manner. That may have been a little more than a minute, but I tried to keep it short.
Okay, everybody, that was a black belt answer. That was Erik Paulson lock flow with business.
Sorry.
We'll do another podcast and break that down because it took me an
Yeah.
hour to
And
listen.
I've got several questions along the way that I'm going to ask just to make you detail it.
Yeah.
All right.
Good answer.
I've done it several times, and I know right where to insert the proper question because I get them all the time. Honestly.
All right. I'd be happy to do that.
This was a nice beginning of a trend, though, to get 2 Titans on the podcast with us. We usually don't get 2 at the same time.
That's right.
That was pretty cool.
Well, it was nice, and it's good that everyone that has not met Don yet, they get exposed and they get to listen to him a little bit. So you'll actually get to listen.
I'm
more.
honored that you guys have me on there with you. I love you guys.
Hey, Don, do you have are you going to do a video tour of your house when you're done?
For you guys, yeah, I will. I'll grab my laptop and I'll walk it around, and yeah, I'll do. Actually,
I'm going to put the instructions on a piece of paper up here, and then I just.
I will have to have Alan show me how to do it on my phone because I'm sure my smartphone, which is way smarter than me, can do it. I just don't know how to do it.
Don,
That's Alan's
Don,
wheelhouse.
use a drone. Use a drone. Get a
All
drone.
right, we'll fly a drone inside my house. We got it. We can do it. All right, guys, I'm signing off.
God bless you. Thank you, Don.
God bless
Thank
you.
you, Don.